This letter from BMW nearly costed me thousands of dollars. All right, it's not the letter itself, but it's what the letter represents, because I nearly made a big mistake. Well, I actually kind of already did make a mistake, but I think we can reverse it. But I could have made an even bigger mistake. But before I explain it, because one, it's probably an interesting story, and then two, I'll probably save some of you guys, let's get the proper car in here and talk about this, because, well, it's not the Supra and it's not even the M3. It's about what's becoming my most unreliable car ever, my BMW X5 with the legendary B58. I framed that last shot for the Supra, and then when I pulled in the X5, it was so much bigger, it literally didn't fit in the same frame. Oh well, I'm not filming that again. That's just too much work. Anyways, can we just acknowledge what happened to this bird? Look at that. That is absolutely disgusting. So to really explain the story, let's go all the way back. So if you guys don't know, this is a 2021 BMW X5 40i, means it has the B58. And I know in the beginning, I sarcastically said that it's the legendary B58. Well, it is a great motor, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to insult the B58. For any of you B58 owners out there, I get it. It's an amazing engine. But what I think a lot of people fail to realize is despite the engine being great, does not mean that a car with a B58 is not going to have any issues. There are other things than just the engine. So people like to say, well, BMWs are reliable now. It has the B58, it's amazing. Toyota used it, all these things. And it's like, well, yeah, but you can still have other issues with the car. And the B58 engine itself still has its own issues. Like if you guys didn't know, these things are really bad with their oil filter housing, which again, if you didn't know even more, sits all the way back there. Not that, that is not it. It's actually, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but it sits back there. Anyways, the point is, it's hard to get to, unlike the N55s, which were like right in the front along with the belt. These ones have it all the way back there, and they're known to leak. So if you wanna change it, you have to go through a whole process, remove the intake manifold, and this is all gonna kinda apply to the story that I'm about to tell you guys. But, you know, this thing has its own issues. And then just in general, this X5 has had its fair share of issues since I've owned it. I've only owned it since it had 36,000 miles. The car now has like 43,000 or so. If you guys are wondering why I barely put any miles on my car, well, I own 3. I can only drive 1 car at a time, and I do kind of disperse it. Point is, as I run out of breath here, oh my God, what's wrong with me? The point is, I've only owned this car for about 6,000 miles, and it's had a handful of some minor and then some more serious issues. The first issue that I had within like a month of owning this thing, and this is a super common issue, well, at least on these X5s, is I started to have water pool up and just kind of flood the passenger footwell so bad that you can literally do like this and water will splash up. So obviously if you just leave it like that, that could lead to like fungus or mold or whatever it is. It's just absolutely disgusting. I know my car is already dirty, it's a family car, but I don't want mold in here, so that's a whole different story. It has something to do with like the whole drainage system on the sunroof. It basically gets clogged. Super common issue on these X5s. Not the most serious thing in the world. It's not like you're gonna blow an engine doing that. The next issue though could lose you an engine, and that is a bad oil pump. Now this is an actual B58 issue. The B58, at least the Gen 2, which this one has, is known in certain production years to have a bad oil pump. Long story short, it has plastic components inside it, and they tend to fail and go bad. If you guys remember what I went through with this thing, I literally got so lucky. I had 2 weeks left under my warranty, because obviously I bought this thing used. I had 2 weeks left under my warranty, so that was covered under the warranty. So is the water issue over there. So I really shouldn't complain, although I'm still am, because you don't want to buy a car and then just, like, I think by that point I only had like 4,000 miles in less than a year of ownership, and I already had 2 major issues. Well, you know, whatever you want to call it, major or not. Anyways, those 2 things are not the issue that I'm talking about today, or the letter that I received today. What it does have to do with is another issue that I had with this X5. Again, if you guys follow my channel regularly, you'll know that I was getting a check engine light on the X5. Another one. So ignore this right now because it's in accessory mode. The check engine light will always be on, but if I just turn on the car, the check engine light won't be on. However, if we scan the car, you guys can see we have one fault. And if we press on it, read codes, you will quickly see it has something to do with cooling. So like I said, I made an Instagram post about it. I made a YouTube video about it. I asked you guys what you thought. A lot of people had the same ideas. I reached out to a couple shops that I know, like BMW specific shops. I reached out to a few BMW techs that work at BMW dealerships. Just reached out to a whole bunch of people and I asked them what they thought this code can be, because I also had some ideas, but those ideas weren't making sense. Look, basically people were saying it could be the thermostat or it could be the coolant temperature sensor. That's what I was also thinking just based on the code. However, nothing really made sense, because when I used this tool and I checked the coolant temperature, well, it was fine. Like, it was moving just fine. And now enter the part of the story where I lost a bunch of money. So as you guys can see, well, I bought a few things. If you're judging this box, by the way, it did get caught outside in the rain. We've been getting a whole bunch of rain here in New York. But anyways, I bought these 2 boxes filled with parts for the X5 because, well, those things that we all thought was the issue with the X5, I figured I'd just replace it. So I'm not gonna fully open anything here because I'm hoping I can just return it. But just to show you guys, this right over here is a new thermostat, or heat something. I forgot what they call it, but it has another name. But this is the thermostat for the B58. And then this over here, we have a bunch of coolant, which I'm actually probably just gonna keep. We have the coolant temperature sensor, we have some gaskets, and then we have this little bucket to drain the coolant because, well, if it's not obvious, even though I was kind of doubting that those things were the issue, people like to use their horn a lot. Even though I was doubting those things were the issue, I was still gonna replace them and hope that it resolves it. And if it didn't, I was gonna go from there. So yeah, I bought everything, and this stuff was not cheap. That thermostat alone, even like on an aftermarket basis, which is still good because it's from FCP Euro, was like 400 bucks. And if you're wondering, well, that's not thousands, it's just a couple hundred. Well, the story goes on. Anyways, the point is I bought all this stuff to hopefully resolve that check engine light. But like I was saying before, these B58s, oh crud, I closed the hood. I forgot I did that. Anyways, these B58s have that issue with the oil filter housing. And like I was saying before, you need to remove the intake manifold to get to it. Well, to do that job as well, you also need to remove the intake manifold. So I was like, all right, well, if I have to remove the intake manifold to change the thermostat, I might as well change the oil filter housing. So I had a whole bunch of stuff planned. I was even gonna have a buddy of mine help me out because, well, I've never done this job before and I didn't want to screw it up, but he has. He's a BMW tech. Unfortunately, he was busy. I honestly got really busy. If you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been uploading on YouTube as much. I kind of figured, it's like, I'm probably not gonna do it. The videos aren't gonna get me that much views anyways, and it's probably not worth it to make like $5 off a video just to make myself struggle and you know, spend a day doing it. When again, I just don't have that much time. So I was gonna take it to a shop. And this is why it would have costed me thousands, because I didn't get any official quotes yet. I've literally had this stuff sitting for maybe like a month or two now. I just didn't get a chance to get to it. But if I had to guess, I would say it's probably gonna be like $1,000 to $1,500 job just in terms of labor. Again, I already bought the parts myself. It's 500 bucks. I didn't even buy the oil filter housing yet, which I was gonna buy an aluminum one if you guys were wondering. Anyways, the point is, we had a whole plan set up. We bought all this stuff, which I'm hoping I can return to FCP Euro. There's probably some stuff I'm gonna keep, like the coolant drain pan. This thing is only like 15 bucks anyways, and it's actually really good quality. The coolant, just because, well, you know, that's just good to have. But like the things like the thermostat and the sensor, I don't need that crud, man. And the reason why I don't think I need it is because, well, with that letter, and now this is where this is gonna finally come full circle, I think we have the solution to that check engine light, the actual solution. Now, finally on to this letter, which is what sparked this video and the whole change in plans. I don't even want to put it down here. That's absolutely disgusting. Let's put it on the M3. So as you guys can see here, it basically says that there's a recall now on my X5 regarding the radiator grill's lower active air flap assembly. When I first got this letter, I was like, what is that? Am I even having this issue? I did some further research, and it turns out those check engine lights are at least most likely from this flap. So these cars have, and by the way, I'm still learning all this, so if I'm getting any of this wrong, feel free to correct me down in the comments, but it has an active flap right over here, and essentially it gets stuck and it just doesn't open or close properly. And yeah, look, I get it. People are gonna comment and say, well, Eamon, you're complaining about something that's really gonna be resolved for free. Yeah, I mean, look, in the end, thankfully, BMW did issue a recall on this. It's good for 15 years or 150,000 miles. And I mean, I'm already experiencing the issue. So my next step here is to take it to BMW. Hope that that check engine light really does coordinate with this recall. If it does, they'll replace it completely free. I will have to give up my car, which if you guys didn't know, this is my family car, so it's an inconvenience, but it is what it is. If it's not, then I have to pay a diagnostics fee, and they'll tell me that it's another issue. Either way, look, I think this is gonna be it, and ultimately it will be resolved for free, and I don't have to pay anything. But it just makes me think, like, so I already bought the parts, I spent the money. I think FCP Euro will refund me, or at least give me store credit, and I buy stuff from them all the time, so I'm not worried about that. But I could have legit spent so much time installing the parts, which at that point I can't return them, just to figure out that did not resolve the issue, and then get this letter later on and feel like an absolute idiot. Or I could have taken it to a shop, paid another 1,500 bucks, so maybe 2,000 bucks in total, and then get this letter later, and then realize, oh yeah, it could have just gotten it done for free. So because I've been so busy, I haven't had time to install those parts. They are just sitting there, so I kind of got lucky. But if you guys own an X5, if you guys are planning on getting one, learn from this mistake, because if you're having that check engine light, if you're having those codes, look into the recall. So yeah, thankfully we kind of made it through this one, just barely. But I'd be lying to you guys if I said that this experience, along with the others, hasn't made me rethink some things. Like, do I really want to keep a BMW X5 as my quote-unquote reliable family SUV? I love this thing, and I love driving it. Like I keep on saying, family SUV, literally 2 car seats back there. This is what needs to be my reliable car. I have the Supra, I have the M3, I work on those cars. Sometimes those cars are down while I'm working on them. So I really do want something reliable and consistent as my family car. Me and my wife have been talking about potentially trading it in and getting something else. I've made a few jokes here and there about, like, I just want to switch back to Honda. And I'm not joking, I'm actually really thinking about it. Although no Honda is gonna drive as nice as this thing. It feels so smooth, so comfortable. It's got the power. It's actually pretty decent on gas too, all things considered. That's really nice, look at that Audi. Maybe I'll get one of those. If you guys are thinking about getting an X5, I can't even recommend it anymore. I don't know, get something more reliable. So we'll see. This is just me talking out loud. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do it. I might take it into a couple dealerships and see what they give me on a trade-in. Oh, there's a camera on this light. Let's not cross that one. If there's something else other than the X5 that's maybe even interesting for content, let me know down in the comments below, because I don't know. I thought about maybe like a Macan, but you know, more so for content, or I just go straight up family car, reliable, get a Honda Pilot, call it a day. You guys won't see it on the YouTube channel. You won't see any videos about it really, because no one's gonna watch it. I know at least for the X5, some of you BMW enthusiasts, you might have like an M240 or something, and then an X5 on the side, or an X7 or something. So Pilot, no one's gonna watch. I love this thing, but I just really can't stomach dealing with more issues. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this video here, but hopefully this was helpful or just entertaining to some extent. So stay tuned guys, and with that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.